Hey, welcome back to Dagryffyn Hobby. Today I'm taking a quick look at my new Weaver Alco FA2. It's got an issue where it only illuminates the headlight in reverse. I believe the locomotive is supposed to come with directional lighting, so that would make sense, but why is it that it's shining in reverse instead of forward? That I don't know. The boards that are in there are a bit beyond my experience. I asked around a little bit, tried to do some research, and it seems the easiest thing to do to fix this issue is just reverse the polarity on the motors. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to desolder the wires from each motor and resolder them on the opposite side, and then it should work. It would make sense, but then every time I start the engine, is it going to go backwards first? I don't know. Seems so. If I go mucking around with the board itself, I'm probably going to fry it. So I figured give this a try, see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and resolder those wires and we'll see what happens. Okay, I've got the shell off. So I'm just going to go ahead and hopefully quickly and easily desolder these wires, or whatever the term is for that, and switch the sides. Probably could have taken off the rubber band first, right? Try not to burn myself. Easy enough. One thing I've learned is that a properly warmed up soldering iron makes that a lot easier. So I always like to let mine warm up a bit before I start. Okay, you gotta do both motors. So otherwise your engine could be fighting itself. So both motors have been resoldered, opposite polarity. Let's see what happens. Well, at least that behaved as I expected. So when you give this engine power, the first time it's in neutral. Every time I've tried, that's what happens. And then what was happening was I would give it power to go forward. But now, because I swapped the polarity of the wires going to the motor, it goes backwards first. Not a big deal, but kind of a weird fix for an issue. If there's a better way to do this so that the first thing it does is go forward, that would be great. I will have to look into learning more about these circuit boards. Let's see what happens with the light. Backwards, not on. Forwards, it's on. I fixed my main complaint, and that was the headlight not working. But if you know how to either reset the board or get it to start off in forward as opposed to neutral and then reverse, let me know. I would love to find that out. This is a QSI board. I'd read the rest of what it says on the label, but I can't read it, so I'll have to take a picture of it. One other thing I was thinking of was to bypass the board and just run an LED right off of power coming up from the trucks. And that's something I still may do. For now, I'm just going to stay with it the way it is, unless I get some other advice to the contrary. If you have one of these Weaver FAs, be very careful putting the shell back on. It would be very easy to break these step ladders. As it is, the rear one on the right side is already damaged. I tried to reinforce it with a little bit of crazy glue, but it didn't really work. So I'm just not going to mess with it. If it ends up breaking at some point, I'll worry about it then. The shell is held on with screws right through the side of it. I think that's an odd choice. I think it would make much more sense to put a screw through the bottom of the frame into the shell. But nobody asked my opinion anyway, so it's all good. Neutral, reverse, neutral, forward, and we have headlight. Pretty quiet engine too. So there you go. Simple solution. Whether or not it's the correct one, at least it's operating the headlight the way I want it to. As I said, if you have more information on these QS1 boards, let me know. Because I would assume there's some sort of reset or some fix or a way to set these boards to function the way that you want them to. Of course, I could be overestimating the quality of the board. I don't really know. But I would like to know for the future reference if and when I get more of these older Weaver engines. That was my quick repair on this Weaver FA2. It's an engine I've been very impressed with already. It pulled 24 cars and it was doing so at a very low voltage, so that impresses me. I'd say half of them were post-war, half of them were newer, so there was a good amount of weight there. Either way, it functioned a lot smoother and quieter than certainly any of my post-war engines. But then again, the post-war ones, their speed and noise is kind of part of the charm. But I am slowly getting wooed by the newer stuff. And by newer, again, anything newer than post-war to me is newer. But I'm really enjoying this engine. I had picked it up just because of the Pennsy shell and figured worst case scenario, it would sit on a siding and just look pretty. But it works pretty well, so I'm pretty excited. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time on dagryffyn Hobby.